All right, next up we have Ear Today, Gone Tomorrow. This was an interesting episode. The music in this one reminded me really heavily of They Live. Anybody else get that vibe from this? So we have a safe cracker here, and he's being put to the test to see if he's still got it because he has a huge debt to pay off, and they are trying. Yeah, they're trying to see if he can pull that off, if he's worth even putting out there, or if they can just kill him and call it a loss and move on with their day. So he's got hearing loss, so that's why he can't do this anymore. He fails their test, and before he's killed, the main mob boss dude, whatever he is, wife comes in and says she wants a crack at him, that she's gonna give him a stay of execution. And so he gives him like 10 days to come up with the money. So he's got to go out and do all these big jobs to try to pay this guy back. The wife takes him aside and like 5 days later reveals to him, I don't know what the hell they were doing for those 5 days. Hopefully they were prepping for a job, or that guy was just maybe enjoying the last 10 days of his life. I do not know. But 5 days later, because she says you have 5 days left, she reveals that she wants him to rob her husband so that they can just take the money and run. That she needs him, and he's like, I can't hear. So she shows him her eyes, and she has cat eyes. And at first you're thinking, okay, she has contacts, and he's like, are those real? Which I don't even think would be a question I would ask. But he does, and she's like, yes, they are. And I was like, yes, they are what? Yes, they are cat eyes, for real. I'm guessing they had to be a bigger cat, though, right? I mean, it couldn't have came out of a domestic house cat. Their eyes are like this big, and her eyes are this big. So did he just like splice in? Who knows? I'm overthinking it. But she takes him to her doctor, this crazy doctor who can transplant animal parts onto humans, and he gives him an owl's a hearing ability, I guess. And this guy can hear anything, and he can hear so much that from across the room, he can hear this girl smoking and what her lungs sound like, and there's like this hacking up inside of her lungs, and he's trying to tell her, like, you need to quit this. And of course, she takes him into the house and shows him the big safe, and he goes in and cracks it like instantly because he's got the hearing. Boom, boom, boom. Tumblers fall in place. Good to go. Opens it up. She's like, all right, we're set. She fucks him in this before this too. She's got a rockin' bod, man. She gets totally naked. Hot stuff. So that scene was very welcomed addition to this episode. But yeah, so he breaks it, and then he turns on her, and she's like, my husband said you were, whatever, not trustworthy. I'm paraphrasing. It wasn't that, but something. And he shoots her, and he goes to take the money and run, but then the husband comes in, and this has all been some big elaborate setup. Why? I have no idea. Maybe so he'd get the surgery. I guess that's what they're hinting at, but it's like, couldn't they have just got that, and they could have locked him in a room? I don't know. Maybe they just wanted to see if it worked. Who cares? But she then, shows her attributes as a cat by having 9 lives. I just want to point out that you can't kill a cat 8 times before it's on its final leg. Like, cats die. Like, that's just a fucking saying. They've seen that in so many movies and stuff. And in this one, that's actually supposed to be a physical, like, attribute of a cat. Cats don't have 9 lives. So that was kind of odd to me. Of course, we're playing with, fantasy here, but still, I just thought that was really weird. And speaking of really fucking weird, I thought what was cute about that, though, before I say the other thing, is that what he was hearing earlier of her hacking lungs and the smoking and all that was her coughing up a fur ball because she's turning into a cat. She's been singing that Aristocat song too much. Everybody wants to be a cat, and she's one of them. But getting back to what's weird, or what weird thing happens in this, the doctor comes in, and the guy's like freaking out, and he then starts to turn into an owl. His nose and his mouth fall off, and he has an owl beak underneath, and he turns his head all the way like 180 around, like The Exorcist. or like an owl. So he's actually becoming an owl, a human-sized owl. I don't know what this would all be for, why the doctor would even be doing this research, just to say he could. So it was more like gene splicing, more so than eardrum replacement, I guess. I don't know, but he's turning into an owl, which then means that she's turning into a cat. Like, is her face going to fall apart? Or those pretty little tits of hers going to fall off? Or, like, is she going to turn into a cat? Like, because that's what we're suggesting here in this episode. So is she stoked about that? I don't know. But yeah, he's turning into an owl. All in all, I liked how out there this one was. That it tried something different. I've never seen anything like this before. So yeah, it was cool. I liked it. So anyways, all right, let's move on to the last episode of all of it. All right, let's go.